Hey there, it's me. Somebody who's gonna sit and pout because he didn't get told that this awesome thing exists. The Call of Cthulhu 2005 rocks, guys. I am somebody who loves horror movies. If you don't know this about me, I love horror movies, and it's been a love that I've had for a long time at this point. I think horror movies are really good at making you feel something. A lot like a good drama. It just invokes so much feeling out of you, and especially the feeling of fear is not something that is easy to pull out of somebody. So that is just a beautiful, awesome thing, in my opinion, about horror movies. Now, I'm somebody who doesn't just like modern day horror movies, although I do like a lot of them. I'm somebody who is very interested in the history of horror movies. So I've actually seen a decent amount of horror silent films. I remember me and my sister sitting on the couch in my room and watching TV, and I was like, hey, do you want to watch the first horror movie ever made? So we sat down and watched an 1896 movie called The Haunted Castle. And it was pretty sick, honestly. It's like 5 minutes long. I love Nosferatu, Symphony of Horror. It's beautiful. It's awe-inspiring, and I just think it's true art. So why the heck hasn't anybody told me that the Call of Cthulhu exists? The Call of Cthulhu is a 2005, which, great year, by the way. That's the year I was born. Amazing year. And on top of that, it's a Lovecraftian horror movie that was an ode to 1920s silent films. And it was awesome. I think the score in it's awesome. The practical effects are awesome. You can tell that this fan film has so much oomph to it. Like, even though they didn't have a high budget, it has so much passion behind it that I thought it was so freaking cool. I thought it slapped, honestly. You hear that train? I'm sorry if you hear that train. It's very obnoxious. I thought it was so cool that they were able to capture the essence of a silent film in 2005. The storytelling in it is actually superb. Like, it is so cool to watch. The way that it unfolds. I've actually never read the H.P. Lovecraft story of Cthulhu, so I was very interested to see how it plays out. You can just tell there was so much passion put behind this movie. And I think the reason I love it so much is that I am so passionate about indie filmmakers. I think that you can find some of the coolest stuff in the world by people who don't have any money because they have to push their creativeness to the next level. And I think you see it in this movie. Now, of course, it wasn't the people who made this movie that came up with this story, obviously. This is based after an H.P. Lovecraft story. So I guess you can deduct some points from there, but I think the creativity of the visuals, especially at the end, the old school monster look of Cthulhu is so freaking rad that it looks like this Play-Doh monster that is perfectly executed. I think it is awesome that they were able to make something like this. And I would love to do something like this at some point in the future. If I ever get the opportunity, you bet I would make something like this. I think that's maybe why I am so drawn to this, because I've actually sat down and wrote scripts for silent films, because I think that it's a really unique way to tell a story. And with that, I suppose, I think they could have done something to subvert your expectations with the silent film formula, I suppose, if that's the word you want to use, because this is stuff that we've seen before. If you have seen any of the early silent films, any old horror movies, that I wish that they would have done something that you couldn't have done back in the 1920s. I think a cool way to do that was maybe to have, at one point, somebody speak towards the end and really just throw everything for a loop. I was sitting there waiting for some sort of subversion of my expectations for what a Lovecraftian silent film in 2005 would be, but I don't think they fully did that, and I guess that's not a fault to the movie, but I wish they would have done that, because as I was saying, some of the scripts that I've written, that's one of my favorite ideas that I've been ping-ponging around my brain, that I want to make a subvertive silent film horror style. I think that would be so rad. Anyway, I just really wanted to talk about this movie because I think it is really cool that this is a thing that exists, and that's kind of the way that I want this channel to be. Just, hey, I found this really cool thing, or this is what I think about this dumb thing. Like, I don't know. If you guys like that, if you like this idea of me just bringing anything that I find cool to you in this absolute awesome set that I got going here with 2 pickles, a busSIN sign, and Derek, then please click that subscribe button, because he is unstoppable. Anyway, alright. Watch Call of Cthulhu. It's on Tubi for free right now. Love ya. Bye.